Okay, good morning, it's at Love Clark. Earlier I said it takes a dummy to teach dummies. Well, now I'm just going to read the Bible, and you can decide what you want to believe, but let the word stand where it stands, and don't try changing it, twisting it, reconvincing yourself, or just basically writing this off as not right, okay? Or that this doesn't matter, okay? We're in the King James Version of the Bible, Nehemiah, okay, chapter 13, verse 1, okay? I'm going to read this. It's not me. You got a problem with this? You got a problem with God or the Scripture, the way it's written. You got to deal with God, not me, okay? I'm reading His Word. You do with what you want, okay? On that day, they read in the book of Moses in the audience of the people, and therein was found written that the Ammonite and the Moabite should not come into the congregation of God forever. Deuteronomy 31:11, 12, 2 Kings 23, 2, chapter 8, 3 and 8. Okay? You don't believe me? You can look in other places. This ain't me. It's God's word. Moabite should not come into the congregation of God forever. What does God mean when He says forever? What do you mean when you say forever? Well, because you're a human, forever is really limited. But when you're not a human and you're God that can live forever, yeah, it means forever. Because they met not the children of Israel with bread and with water, but hired Balaam against them, that he should curse them. Howbeit our God turned the curse into a blessing. Now it came to pass, when they had heard the law, that they separated from Israel all the mixed multitude. And before this, Eliashib, the priest, having the oversight of the chamber of the house of our God, was allied with Tobiah. And he had prepared for him a great chamber, where for a time they laid the meat offerings, the frankincense, the vessels, and the tithes of corn, the new wine, the oil, which was commanded to be given to the Levites, and the singers, and the porters, and the offerings of the priest. But all this time was not I at Jerusalem, for in the 32nd year of Artaxerxes, king of Babylon, came I unto the king. And after certain days obtained I leave of the king. And I came to Jerusalem, and understood of the evil that Eliashib did for Tobiah, in preparing him a chamber in the courts of the house of God. And it grieved me sore. Therefore I cast forth all the household stuff of Tobiah out of the chamber. Then I commanded, and they cleaned the chambers, and thither brought I again the vessels of the house of God, with the meat offerings and frankincense. And I perceived that the portions of the Levites had not been given them, for the Levites and the singers that did the work were fled every one to his field. Then I contended I with the rulers, and said, Why is the house of God forsaken? And I gathered them together, and set them in their place. Then brought all Judah the tithe of corn, and the new wine, and the oil, unto the treasuries. And I made treasures over the treasurers, Shemaiah the priest, and Zadok the scribe, and of the Levites, Pedaiah. And next to them were Hannah, and the son of Zechar, the son of Mattaniah, for they were counted faithful, and their office was to distribute unto their brethren. Remember me, O my God, concerning this, and wipe not out my good deeds that I have done for the house of my God, and for the offices thereof. In those days saw I in Judah some treading wine presses on the Sabbath, and bringing in sheaves, and laving asses, as also wine, grapes and figs, and all manner of burdens, which they brought into Jerusalem on the Sabbath day. And I testified against them in the day wherein they sold victuals. Now let me pause there for a second, okay? All you Sunday goers, I know, you hate hearing it. But your Bible teaches you there's a specific holy day. You can't just pick and choose any day and make that holy. If that was so, then on this certain special particular day, they wouldn't have made such a big deal out of this. Now, the next. There dwelt men of Tyre, also therein, which brought fish and all manner of ware, and sold on the Sabbath unto the children of Judah in Jerusalem. Then I contended with the nobles of Judah, and said unto them, What evil thing is this that ye do, and profane the Sabbath day? Did not your fathers thus, and did not our God bring all this evil upon us and upon this city? Yet you bring more wrath upon Israel by profaning the Sabbath. Now, if you can pick any old day, like I said, pause. If you can pick any old day you choose, then this wouldn't even be a big deal on a specific day. Okay? And it came to pass that when the gates of Jerusalem began to be dark before the Sabbath, I commanded that the gates should be shut, and charged that they should not be opened till after the Sabbath. And some of my servants set I at the gates, that there should be no burden be brought in on the Sabbath day. So the merchants and sellers of all kind of ware lodged without Jerusalem once or twice. That means outside of Jerusalem. When I testified against them, and said unto them, Why lodge ye about the wall? If you do so again, I will lay hands on you. It says, I will lay hands on you. From that time forth came they no more on the Sabbath. Well, threatening people gets results sometimes if they don't listen, huh? So you don't say, oh, you can't threaten me. Well, it's in the Bible. And I commanded the Levites that they should cleanse themselves, and that they should come and keep the gates to sanctify the Sabbath day. Remember me, O my God, concerning this also, and spare me according to the greatness of thy mercy. Now, here's where it's going to get interesting, and people are going to get really, really shitty about it, because let me get back over here. Let's remember what it just said. On that day they read in the book of Moses in the audience of the people, and therein was found written that the Ammonite and the Moabite should not come into the congregation of God forever. Now let's go back over here for a second, because it goes with it. In those days also I saw Jews that had married wives of Ashad, of Ammon, and of Moab, and their children spake half in the speech of Ashad, and could not speak in the Jews' language, but according to language of each people, whoever the hell they married and mixed with. And I contended with them, and cursed them, and smote certain of them, and plucked off their hair, and made them swear by God, saying, Ye shall not give your daughters unto their sons, nor take their daughters unto your sons, or for yourselves. Did not Solomon king of Israel sin by these things? Yet among many nations was there no king like him, who was beloved of his God, and God made him king over all Israel. Nevertheless, even him did outlandish women cause to sin. Shall we then hearken unto you to do all this great evil, to transgress against our God and marrying strange wives? Basically, it's saying, should we listen to you or listen to our God about marrying foreigners or strange wives or people outside of your own race? Basically, is what it's saying. Got a problem with this? You ain't got a problem with me. You got a problem with God, and you just haven't been taught it right. Okay, there shouldn't be none of these people being in this religion unless they are part of the line of Israel. And one of the sons of Joadiah, the son of Elizabeth, the high priest, was son-in-law to Sanballat the Horonite. Therefore I chased him from me. Remember them, O my God, because they have defiled the priesthood and the covenant of the priesthood of the Levites. Thus I cleansed them from all strangers, and appointed the wards of the priests and the Levites, every one in his business. And for the wood offerings at times appointed, and for the first fruits, remember me, O my God, for good. from all strangers. See this? Ran them off from all strangers. What does strangers mean in the Bible? Oh, just some person you never met? No. It meant someone that wasn't your racial type. Okay? I don't know how many times I have to go over this, and I know people hate it, but guess what? If you want to call it that, call it. Call it what it is. Your God's racist. My God's racist. Yeah. You want to put it that way, my God, obviously, according to his own word and an own admittance, is a racist. Okay? Whether you like it or not, there shouldn't be nobody trying to go in the churches, being part of it, without being part of the bloodline. Okay? Because on that day, they read in the book of Moses in the audience of people, and where it was found written that the Ammonite and the Moabite should not come into the congregation of God forever. Okay? What does God mean when he says forever? What does forever mean to God? Ask yourself. Okay? This is not me trying to be mean. This is not me trying to point out racial stuff in the Bible. Well, it is kind of, but not to be mean. It's to educate people. Do you know, okay, that this God is not for the universals, it's not for all races, it's for one people. Adam's children. And if you know that Adam's children has another set of children that trying to pretend to be the children of Adam. They're Kenites. Okay? That's another different story. But here's the proof right here. Proof in the pudding. Now a lot of you are going to read that and say, oh, that's not meant for today. Well, forever means forever to God.